Hello and good day. It's nice to be with you in an online virtual way. And today our topic is going to be Chapter 1 in the video book, Electronic Properties. And to get us started in the electronic properties, I'll go through the outline here for the day. And I will put myself in the corner. So the first thing we'll talk about, this is the title of this particular talk, and then this number 2, the first thing we'll talk about is the electron behavior in a material generally controls many, if not most or all, of the macroscopic properties of that material. And the different kinds of materials are wide and varied, but we can talk in general about manufactured materials, especially as either being metals, ceramics, or plastic, and you know that they're going to be different in a lot of different ways. In what ways are they different? Well, in one way we have the material property itself, and those can be classified in various ways as electrical and electronic. Do they conduct? Do they insulate? Optical, are they transparent? Are they opaque? Magnetic, are they ferromagnetic and you can magnetize them or not? And what happens to magnetic fields around the material? Thermal, do they transmit heat easily, or do they conduct heat or not? And is it isotropic or not? Does it go more in one way than in another way? These are material issues. Ductility, can the material be bent or will it fracture? And so on. There are a long list of properties that for materials, and those materials properties are largely due to the behavior of the electrons in the solid. So therefore, knowing what the electrons are doing and knowing how to do some kind of calculation about that is important. Even if you're not designing the electronic devices, you're going to be using them. I don't think you're going to go through an engineering lifetime and not be working with a lot of different electronics, not to mention all those other properties above. So we are in a seismic shift in human history right now, in which these fantastic devices that we're now able to make that work through electronic means are affecting so many things about human life. It's hard to think of something that isn't being affected, and there's a short list here: information, computation, communication, transportation, and the list goes on. You can't step in a hospital without seeing electronic equipment all over the place to help the MDs do their job. Navigate an airplane, you're going to have these circuits involved. And what are the tools that are actually used to do the real work? Well, integrated circuits. Integrated circuits are a primary building block in electronics. Integrated circuits are amazing. And just to briefly tell you what the reason for the name integrated circuit is, that in the early days of solid-state electronics, that is made in silicon rather than in vacuum, so it got named solid state instead of being in a vacuum. What happened was that it was done that a particular device would need 6 transistors. Yeah, I know it sounds ridiculous, but there was a day when 6 transistors would make a circuit, and what would be done was to make an individual transistor and put it in its little package and mount it on a circuit board, and you'd have all 6 of them mounted on a circuit board and wired together. And somebody, and I'm pretty sure we can think it's maybe Jack Kilby, had the idea, hey, why don't we make these 6 transistors on the same piece of silicon, interconnect them on the same piece of silicon, then there's only one package, holds all the transistors, and then whatever we need to do to get to that from outside, then we go ahead and do the wiring to that package. And that is the idea of integrating circuitry. And it's gone from a few to a billion active devices on a single circuit. It's unbelievable. So that's part of the reason that we can do all these amazing things. Now, if we go back to the outline, the transistor is not even 100 years old. It's credited as being Bell Laboratories, 1947. Yeah, it's probably accurate. And so, hey, there's people around older than integrated circuits, than solid-state electronics. So it's an explosion in human history right now, and you are going to encounter it in your life as an engineer and a researcher. So what theory is involved in this business? Well, it turned out that, as no great surprise, I suppose, that electrons, which are extremely tiny, subatomic particles, they just don't march according to the drumbeat of classical F equals ma and classical physics. It wasn't going to be able to do the job. So quantum physics had already been, not too far after the turn of the last century, been under development and could be applied to these tiny things, these tiny electrons. So we will deal with quantum theory. Don't worry. It's just one more theory to know. And by the way, the book assumes that you have taken an undergraduate course in physics, and that let me demonstrate something real quick. You know, I haven't done anything with that little device I was showing you before, but now it's warning me with a little beep. Oh, I've lost the satellite. Well, yeah, it's in the house. It's not going to see the satellite. So I'll say, okay, you've let me know. Thank you very much. And by touching the screen, give me a break, I can make this thing operate. Who would have thought it? So pretty cool. I mean, it's everyday stuff now, but how can we make a screen that we can touch, and somehow with electronics we make things work? So let's take a look at the book now and finish off this chapter. I will, with any luck, find my mouse, which I tried to make Windows give it to me in a big form, and I don't see it. I see it now moving along. I will get rid of this, and I will get the book in place. So this is chapter 1 in the book that this is accompanying, which is Electronic Properties of Materials, Rolf Hummel, number 4, edition 4. And chapter 1 is very short and basically says what I just said in a little more detail. It's a lot of words and talks about the different thermal properties and so on, the invention of the transistor, and so on and so forth. So we'll go on down through that. And by the way, you see at the bottom a reference for this book. He's going to talk about classical electrons and quantum theory in the book. We will do the same. And the course assumes that the real book, the printed book, and the video book assume that you understand these simple basic ideas: Newton's law, kinetic energy, momentum, speed of light, velocity of a wave, angular frequency, and Einstein's E equals mc squared. We assume that you're going to know that stuff. And it says it would be nice if you took a course in material science or crystallography, but it's not necessary. I'll give you what you need of those topics in the course here, in the video book. So I believe we have completed our chapter and our mission. This is the beginning of the next chapter, and I urge you to get started reading it. So back to the outline, just to review it. This is like what it's all about. What is this class all about? And it's all about electron behavior, because electron behavior in a material explains and underlies the reason why it acts like it does and why we can build things out of it and make things out of it and what to expect from it. And the material's properties are wide and ranging that are dependent on electrons. Some are dependent on phonons and other things, but frequently it's electrons. We're going through a seismic shift. Everything that you do in your personal private life is going to have this topic will be part of it. So you may not know it. The people that may not know it, but it is. And the integrated circuit, we're going to lead up to that, and we'll spend some time on integrated circuits. Different types. We're going to talk about quantum theory, and you have to have had some physics. So with that, if you have any questions, send it to me in an email, and I salute you.